The chosen one. You were meant to hide, yet you're here. Your moment has arrived. The masks are falling. The drapes are opening. They attempted to conceal you, extinguish your light, and make you forget your strength. But you didn't forget. You were buried as deep as a seed. But now you're sprouting. Your roots have strengthened. Your soul is shaped by fire. They told you. Wait. They told you. Calm down. They couldn't put out the fire within you because you're not an ordinary person. You were picked. You have been called. Others cannot fathom the power that you possess. This environment could not allow you to be underestimated. You intended to silence me. But while you were quiet, your strength increased. Now no one can stop you. This is your time. It is time to claim your proper position. To claim your destiny, you must break the bonds. Do not hide. Do not kneel. Do not withdraw. Your destiny is to rock the world with your brightness. Get ready, because there is no going back. No longer can the darkness conceal you. The moment to rise has here. So, write in the comments right now. They were certain they were executing a faultless approach. Subtle gestures, planned words, and concealed intents are designed to entice you into their web. However, this time you refused to accept the bait. You did not challenge dishonesty or try to shatter their delusion. Instead, you allowed quiet do the job for you, and they misunderstood your lack of response for acquiescence. You knew better. Allowing events to flow unhindered has an unquestionable power. You stood as a silent witness to shadows collapsing under the weight of their own lies and layers of pretense peeling away. You were never unaware. The shifting looks, the unsaid tension, the sudden shift in the atmosphere. None of this slipped your attention. Whispers were shared in private, twisting reality into a warped representation of yourself. For a brief period, they relished in their own fabrications, believing that perception could rewrite reality. However, they did not foresee your rejection to participate. They needed your outrage to justify their deception. Your vengeance serves to complete their tale. But you never gave them what they wanted. There was strength in constraint. You might have debunked every myth, exposed contradictions, and demand justice. But you recognized a deeper reality. When minds refuse to perceive, words are ineffective. Explaining oneself to individuals who are determined to misunderstand you is like to yelling into a hurricane, trying to alter its direction. Instead of depleting yourself in a fight of perceptions, you picked a road of assurance. You went away not in retreat, but with insight. Knowing the truth does not need recognition. Those who turned against you were not acting on their own initiative. Their ideas were borrowed. Their behaviors were governed by those who had perfected the art of manipulation. Whether motivated by envy, self-interest, or blind loyalty, they let themselves be influenced. They mistook rumor for wisdom, mistaken dishonesty for knowledge. In doing so, they gave up their judgment, allowing external factors to determine their reality. But illusions don't stay forever. Without the enemy they had portrayed you to be, the gaps in their stories started to reveal the same voices they had previously trusted. Now it looked incongruous. Their comments were filled with inconsistencies, which they had previously disregarded. As the dust settled, clarity replaced presumption, and one by one, they realized they had put their confidence in a mirage. Imagine a giant oak towering proudly in a large, bright field, representing power and divine order. Its roots penetrate deep into fertile soil, receiving nourishment from the very ground that God has created. Similarly, the decisions we make anchor our lives, while the energy we send into the world nourishes them. Just like an oak cannot grow without good roots and care. Every action we do has an impact on our life, and it will undoubtedly come back to us in the future. If you are experiencing an excess of divine love in your heart, now is the moment to share it. You may help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and donating $100 or more. This wonderful gift will affect not just your life, but also the souls of countless others. Each of you has a holy position in God's great purpose via this platform, and your giving will provide fruit for our prayers. Act now. Share your benefits to honor His kingdom. You were intended to perform much bigger things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. Actions have repercussions, and the energy we use always returns to us. They used to think that their decisions were nothing more than murmurs in the wind, like a boomerang returning to its thrower. Insignificant and transitory. A basic game about changing alliances. However, the Almighty has declared that no deed, no matter how minor, is ever without consequences. The magnificent fabric of life is laced with threads of responsibility. Every lie and treachery is addressed with calm and precise punishment. The Lord's teachings remind us that the cosmos is a gigantic ledger in which every action is recorded, every purpose evaluated, and every blunder is compensated for in kind. They felt that by building webs of deceptive promises and malicious plots, they might avoid the repercussions of their decisions. However, by breeding deception, they have created their own jail. The whole fabric of their existence has been woven with the threads of their own wrongdoing, creating a complex but inescapable tapestry. Each lie, each act of malice, is woven into the fabric of their life, binding them with ropes that tighten with time. The devastation they once unleashed on the earth now returns as a heavy load, weighing down on them. With each passing day, the distortion of their character, like a shadow cast at sunset, spreads over the landscape of their life. What started off as a series of modest, apparently minor choices has now turned into a labyrinth of uncertainty and stress. The same impulse that previously drove them to act in their own self-interest has returned, entangling them in a web of unexpected repercussions. They believed they could change their allegiances at any time, treating life as a never-ending game of chance. But now they realize that every option comes with a heavenly cost. The Almighty's rule of reciprocity guarantees that nothing is ever lost or squandered. Each deed has its proper place in the evolving tale of our lives. When the cacophony of everyday life subsides, the truth appears as plain as a ray of sunshine bursting through the thickest clouds. The cosmos, in its great wisdom, does not tolerate dishonesty, nor does it show mercy to those who practice treachery. It's as if a cosmic mirror has been held up to their spirits, reflecting back the exact energy they previously disregarded, the disharmony they welcomed in the hopes of gaining power and control, but which has instead become the cause of their own agony. Their lives, once a collection of unrestrained passions and mistaken goals, they are now overwhelmed by the same chaos they wanted to throw outside. According to ancient wisdom, every deed and every word contains a vibration that extends far beyond the present instant. When we tell the truth and live with integrity, we attract more good energy, uplifting our spirits and directing us toward virtue. Conversely, when we plant seeds of deception and treachery, we are condemned to reap a harvest of pain and regret. The spiritual law promotes natural harmony rather than punishment. It is the universe's technique of restoring balance when things have been pushed off track. As a result, individuals who have chosen the dark road of dishonesty are now caught in its own trap. Consider the example of a river that runs continuously into the sea. If a dam is erected to redirect the flow, the water does not just disappear. It seeks a way around, over, or through the obstacle, generally using force and tenacity. Similarly, the energy we release into the world, whether good or bad, cannot be held permanently. It makes its way back to us, sometimes softly, sometimes with overpowering intensity, reminding us that the divine sees everything. The river of life continues to flow. Simply because we try to dam it, it always finds a new channel, sometimes building new routes across the terrain of our existence. Those who decided to commit acts of treachery may have felt they were in charge, guiding events to suit their own interests. However, the spiritual rules of this planet function independently of our transient goals. The Creator does not allow us to disrupt the natural order without consequences. What they sowed in the fertile ground of deception has blossomed into a harvest of hardship. Every moment is a reminder of the cost of their acts. Their energy, once scattered in selfish pursuits, has looped back, embedding itself deep inside the walls of their life, a continual reminder of the decisions they made. Every adversity contains a lesson, an opportunity for development and regeneration. The challenges caused by treachery and dishonesty serve not just as punishment, but also as a call to reform. Through the battle against these negative forces, one might actually find redemption and recover the purity of one's spirit. The trip is tough, with the sour taste of regret and the keen sting of missed possibilities. However, it is also a route that leads to spiritual awakening for those who are prepared to face the truth and learn from their mistakes. The cosmos provides an opportunity for rejuvenation, a way to restore what was previously shattered. Understanding this divine truth does not result in rapid change, nor is it free of challenges. It demands a heart ready to face its own flaws, a spirit resolved to overcome the mistakes of the past. The path to healing is paved with honest contemplation and modest acceptance of responsibility, and the light of truth starts to shine through the darkness. Even the most hardened heart may discover comfort and hope. This path is not one of self-deprecation, but rather of discovery, a chance to reconnect with the divine purpose that exists inside each of us. It brings tremendous consolation to know that every weight bore in secret will finally be removed by the Almighty's kindness. The turbulence that previously appeared overpowering will eventually be replaced by a tranquility that transcends all comprehension. In the big scheme of things, every act of treachery and every moment of deceit is merely part of a larger, divinely organized plan. It is a strategy that aims to restore equilibrium and remind us that the energy we release is never lost. It is altered, renewed, and returned in ways that can only be comprehended with faith. Brothers and sisters, do not be discouraged by the mistakes of those who have chosen the road of dishonesty. Instead, let us accept the lessons their acts have taught us. Let us remember that every negative energy we face is an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to renew our commitment to live a life of integrity and honesty. The divine order is unchanging, and all is restored in due course. Just as the big tree stands strong against the storm, so can we stay steady in our faith, knowing that every adversity is really a stepping stone on the journey to spiritual greatness? Our life force is a beautiful gift, a divine spark that glows brilliantly inside each of us. When we choose to live honestly, to allow truth and love guide our actions, we generate a force that not only alters our own lives, but also the lives of others around us. The power of persuasion exists, and it is not weakened by simple words or momentary moments of uncertainty. It is woven into the very fabric of our being, a continual reminder that the path we choose is the result of our decisions. Let us therefore commit to a higher standard, a life in which every deed reflects the divine light inside. Let us always remember that the energy we release is never squandered, and that it returns to us in ways we may not immediately notice, but which eventually serve our best benefit. For every dishonest act that another person may perform, let it be known that the natural order of things will result in a correction, a reckoning that is both reasonable and merciful as we stand on the verge of fresh beginnings. Let us remember that our lives are defined not by the crimes of others, but by the divine potential that exists inside our own souls. This fundamental truth contains both the certainty of divine justice and the promise of regeneration. The instability that formerly overshadowed their lives is now the catalyst for their enlightenment, a reminder that every bad influence is only a spark for good progress. The distortion they painstakingly cultivated has become a mirror, reflecting back the repercussions of their own actions. And when the spiritual winds of change blow softly through the halls of time, they are forced to confront the unmistakable truth that every deed, no matter how concealed, will ultimately come to light. Friends, allow this to serve as a reminder that the energy of our actions paves the way through life. What is given, whether in love or treachery, it is always reciprocated. The heavenly ledger is always open. Every chapter in our life is shaped by the decisions we make as we go. May we take the righteous road, and may our acts reflect the Almighty's favor. May we find strength in the awareness that, even in the face of hardship, the truth will triumph. and every injustice will be corrected in due time. So, as we stand here today, let us celebrate the transformative potential of living a truthful and honest life. Let us recognize the divine principle that holds the cosmos together, a principle that guarantees that every deed, speech, and intention is known and will be returned to us in full measure. Those who formerly thought their brief connections and dishonest conduct were insignificant face the truth of their actions, a witness to the unwavering essence of divine order. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace come upon you today. I'm here to remind you of a fundamental fact. Our existence is based on God's divine purpose and is unaffected by worldly worries. According to the Bible, everything is done with faith will be returned to God with great blessing. Luke, like the enormous oak tree, our roots are profoundly embedded in God's global truth. His power secures every stride and every stance we take. And now you have the chance to be a part of that gift. When you utilize the super thank you button and contribute $100, you will get a 100-fold return on your investment. Imagine yourself as a lighthouse standing steady on a craggy coastline, a beacon of hope and direction in the middle of life's tumultuous waters. Your light is more than simply a basic glow. It's a divine brightness, an indication that your energy is valuable and divinely inspired. May you never forget that your energy is precious. Your decisions are powerful, and your life is a valuable gift from the Almighty. Every day, when you wake to meet the sun, remember that you contain a spark of divine power, a blessing destined to illuminate the world. Accept the truth that exists deep inside your heart. Let it lead you. When the way seems unclear, just as a farmer plants seeds in the expectation that the land will produce a plentiful harvest, you must spread seeds of honesty and love. Each act of love, every truthful word said, lays the groundwork for the Almighty's gifts to develop and thrive. Trust that what you cultivate in your soul will come back to you in abundance, turning every problem into an opportunity for development. Consider how beautiful a well-kept garden may be, a location where every bloom and fruit tells a narrative of dedication, endurance, and faith. Your life is that garden, and every choice you make, every step you take along the road of righteousness, is like a seed planted in rich soil. The divine promise tells you that as you walk in faith, led by truth and integrity, each new day brings you closer to rich pleasure and satisfaction. The Creator's grace renews you, and modest actions of living truthfully develop into wonders beyond your imagination. Let your life be a living example of resilience and grace. Every decision, every act of kindness, is a statement that you are a child of the Most High, destined for greatness. Walk confidently, knowing that you are backed by a force bigger than any earthly impediment. The road may be difficult, but each obstacle serves as an invitation to become stronger, to get a better knowledge of the divine purpose that leads you, and to continue on your route. May you experience the warmth of heavenly favor, like how the sun warms. A cool dawn, calm, steady, and ever-present. Stand tall because you were selected and treasured beyond measure. Allow your heart to overflow with thankfulness for all the goodness around you. And never doubt that every honest effort and heartfelt word contributes to a brighter future. May the light of truth enlighten every step you take, bringing you to a future filled with peace, wealth, and the pleasure that only a true life can provide. Believe in the divine plan. Lean on the eternal strength offered by your faith. Remember, you are not alone on this path. The Creator travels behind you, directing your every move, assuring that the seeds you sow today will produce a harvest of benefits that will endure forever. As you go forward, let prior teachings serve as gentle reminders of the divine order that controls everything. Recognize that every misdeed, every act of treachery, and every moment of selfishness is but a fleeting shadow in the magnificent light of divine truth. The energy you release into the world is the essence of your soul, and it will always return to you, cleaned and increased by God's mercy. So face the future with confidence, knowing that every difficulty is just a stepping stone to greater insight, and every adversity is a precursor to the rich benefits that await you. At the finish, we are defined not by transient alliances or brief wins of deception, but by our unshakable commitment to live a life of truth and love. May the light of the Almighty guide you. May your heart be open to the teachings of each day, and may you always walk in the brilliant light of heavenly favor. Allow the vitality of your spirit to show through, turning every problem into a chance for progress. Every setback serves as a stepping stone to the glorious life offered to those who stay faithful to their spiritual purpose. Losing you was more than simply losing a connection. It was about losing a chance, a source of stability they have never fully appreciated. Your presence was more than they thought. An invisible force provided balance, clarity, and direction. And when they cut the connection, they lost more than just one individual. They disappeared from sight. They lost perspective. Most importantly, they no longer have the honor of being in your presence. They thought they were making a calculated move, but they never considered the full consequences of their choice since. In the end, it wasn't you who suffered. They were left to traverse the debris of their own creation. They believed they could rewind the past, erase the decisions that brought them here, and rewrite the tale in their favor. But life does not provide rewinds. Some teachings come wrapped in elegance, offered with patience and wisdom. Others arrive with sharp edges, pushing their way into consciousness via loss, struggle, and the pain of recognition. They had enough chance to observe what was genuine before it vanished. Instead, they let pride guide their behavior. And now the reality they neglected is staring back at them, obvious and unavoidable. They formerly felt they were operating autonomously, making judgments based on their own free will. But in truth, their ideas were stolen, and their decisions were influenced by murmurs from individuals who never had their best interests in mind. They felt they were leading, but they were really following. They felt they were making a choice, but they were really playing a part in someone else's plan. The cost of mistaken allegiance is high, and they're just now learning how much they've paid. Actions have a long-lasting impact. Shallow apologies will not restore the trust they destroyed. What previously seemed simple is now difficult to mend. And, while convincing themselves that it was no big problem, they believe that time will heal the wounds. The force of their decisions persists. What they once disregarded is now gnawing at the boundaries of their tranquility. A subtle warning that nothing stays concealed forever. They believed removing you would make their lives simpler, but distance from you would offer them something more. But now they realize what they've let go of. It wasn't a burden, but a gift. You were never the one who emptied them. They relished the emptiness that came with your departure. They exchanged knowledge for falsehood and support for manipulation. And now they stand in the aftermath of their own actions. They figured they could stroll back in whenever it was convenient for them, and that the door would be cracked open just enough for a return. But not every door leads back. Some decisions are irreversible, and bridges that have been burnt can never be rebuilt. They were persuaded they had complete control and that the choice to link was entirely up to them. However, time has taught them differently. They are now watching from a distance, knowing it is too late. They wanted you to defend your case in order to get their favor and demonstrate your value before they eventually accepted it. But you never did. Instead, you let go, not in anger or hatred, but in steadfast confidence. Real worth is not something to debate about. It is easily recognizable. And while they sit in the solitude of their loss, it becomes apparent than ever. Your development was not in reaction to them. It was a return to self. It's time to spread God's blessings by pressing the super thank you button on YouTube. With a $100 gift or more, you may help him carry out his plan and become a part of this holy mission. Every contribution symbolizes God's generosity, and I think it will return to you enormously, far beyond your anticipated patience. Remember that his protection and blessing are with you every step and every contribution. You become a part of his divine plan. You are a powerful, dazzling entity, as solid as the massive rock that saw God's marvels. Feel the rewards of your kindness in your spirit, and light up the world with confidence and bravery. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord lead you. They know exactly what they did. The consequences of their deeds linger, manifesting themselves in unexpected ways. They persuade themselves that enough time has gone, that maybe it wasn't as bad as it seemed, and that you've moved on. But deep down, they know the truth, and that knowledge sticks with them even when they attempt to deny it. There is nothing left to revisit. No talk or explanation is necessary. Their actions have provided you with all of the answers you needed. Some individuals lack the confidence to accept their mistakes, preferring quiet over responsibility. But silence cannot erase what occurred. It just acts as a gentle reminder of the gap between who they were and who they hoped they might have become. Nothing that actually belonged to you was ever lost. People who abandoned you were never supposed to be a part of your future. And now, while others bear the weight of their decisions, you go on, unfettered, unshaken, and in sync with everything planned for you.